Hi everyone and welcome to the Publishing Performance Show. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Julie Broad, who's the founder of Book Launchers, and she's also the founder of the Future of Book Marketing Summit, which is happening between the 19th and the 21st of June coming up, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So thanks for joining us, Julie.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
No problem. Before we get into the book conference, I just wanted to go into a bit about what you're about, because you've helped maybe hundreds of authors get their books published and noticed out there into the crowd. So what's the biggest mistake you've seen most authors make when they try to launch a book?
Yeah, they think about the launch once the book is done. That's the biggest mistake. They write the book, they get it all done, and they're like, okay, now I'll put it on Amazon. And then after nothing happens, or maybe they realize as they're putting it on Amazon, they need more of a plan. But really, marketing should start the minute you think you're going to write a book.
Yeah, I saw you talk about that quite a lot. Wherever I've seen interviews, you talk about, your book isn't done when it's written. It's like it's done when it's sold. So What's that process that you do when you're working with new authors to try and get their books out there in front of more people?
Yeah, we always start with, and it sounds easy, but it usually takes quite a bit of time to get good clarity on it. But we always start with understanding who your reader is. And it's not everyone. Even my favorite example of this was I had somebody who had written a book on heart health. And he's like, everybody has a heart, so everybody is my reader. And I was like, well, yeah, but not everybody cares.
Yeah. Also, cows also have a heart.
Yeah, I mean, really. And so you really have to drill down to not just the reader and their demographics and those kind of things, but like what's going to make them care? How does this tie into their hopes or their fears or their dreams? And so once you've got that, then you know what you're talking to them about, and you can create what we call as the hook. And that's the outcome of the outcome. And that knowing the reader and your hook kind of sets you up so you've got a good foundation for the book, but it also sets you up so you know who you're marketing to, how you need to talk to them, what they need to get from this book. And without that from the beginning, the book is really hard to sell. And so that's why I say you really have to be thinking about it from the beginning. And then if you are, this allows you to build content and build your platform while you're producing the book, because you know exactly who you're talking to.
Yeah, I love that. I speak to so many people who have in that same situation as your heart friend. They're writing a book and they say, I'm writing a book about heart. Everyone's got a heart. But you've got to think, why would someone buy your book rather than someone else's book? And if you're going to go, everyone's got a heart, you're going to be competing with loads of doctors and other people who are real heart specialists. So I think you've got to think about why someone would buy your book rather than the competition's.
Yeah, it's your special sauce. Like, what's your story and that unique little piece that you are going to offer that particular reader that makes them want to hear what you have to say?
Yeah, exactly. It's like your points of difference. When you're working with writers to launch their nonfiction books, do you usually have a particular timeline that they focus on?
Well, everybody always thinks their book's going to be done way faster than So after they pick up their jaw from the floor when they realize, oh, I've done the writing, so now this book's going to be done next month, right? Then we go from there. I mean, most people take somewhere once the book is drafted, and getting to that draft takes everybody. It varies so widely. Some people get it done in a couple of months. Some people take years. Everybody's a little different. But once you get that done, depending on the quality of draft, you're usually somewhere around 6 months, maybe 9 months away from launching that book, going through all the editing and the design. And it sounds like that's a long time to somebody who's sitting there with the book ready to go. But that's what it takes to properly edit and develop a book and just make it the best possible thing it can be. You can go faster, but to get it to that best possible level, then that's just what it takes.
Right. Okay. So that's 6 months. That includes writing the book as well, or is that just the promotion period?
No, that's just the editing, design, setting it up for launch. Usually we like to have the book ready for in hand 6 to 8 weeks before it actually launches. So you can send it to reviewers, you can have editorial reviews, you can send it to media, you can send it to your ARC, your advanced reader, you can send advanced reader copies out so people will be ready to post reviews once it's live. So really your book is in hand 4 months after your draft is done, 5 months after your draft is done. But you're not actually launching it for a little bit longer after that so that you can get some build up and momentum. You only get to launch once, right?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I mean, so when you're doing that launch process, are there any parts of it which you essentially include in all launches that kind of could work as a blueprint for the people listening to this?
I mean, some people, we call it a load to launch. So some people finish their book and launch it as soon as it's done. So there is no pre-sale. So in that case, no, that is not, there's just no time for those things. But I did mention a lot of the things we like to do. In an ideal world, you're getting early reviewers, you're sending it out to editorial reviews. Some review services will only review it when it's in pre-launch. So just taking advantage of that. Podcast interviews, as they're typically booking 2 to 4 months, or booking two to 4 months out, and then it's still another couple months till it goes live sometimes. So we want to get on that as soon as we have an ARC copy, an advanced reader copy as well. So there's those kind of things that we like to do well in advance. If you're planning a launch event, those things, and it's hard to do all of that while you're editing and designing the book, right? Because it's just too many trains of thought, too many activities. So generally it's, once the book is done, you should kind of shift gears and focus on those things. So those are some of the things, but everybody's different and everybody does a variety of things in their pre-launch.
Yeah. Now, with your book launching service, with book launchers, you've worked with mostly like nonfiction writers who are promoting stuff.
Yeah.
Only nonfiction writers, yeah. So who are also, they're usually trying to promote a further service down the road. So how do you tie in building that further service with making sure the book like reaches that target audience?
Yeah, there's a few things. So one of them is mindset, right? Like right from the very beginning, having authors realize that the book sales are not the end goal. Like it's nice and everybody loves selling books and having the royalty checks hit your bank account. That's always nice, but it's the book as a tool. And so really from the beginning, we want to be thinking about, okay, in my case, I give away the audio version of both of my latest books more than anything else, because I find, I have a thing with Audible. I don't like that they don't let me set my price, and it just bugs me. So I'm like, fine, you can buy it on Audible if you want, but here, I'll give it to you for free. But for me, I'd rather get that email address and build a relationship with that person than have Audible make 3 times as much money as I get to make on my book. But yeah, so it's kind of thinking through strategically, like what's your end goal? Is it platform growth, which is what I use my books for? Is it you want to lead into its funnel, top of the funnel? Do you want it to lead into some sort of service or course or workshop, or are you a speaker? And this book is going to be part of your whole package of getting you on stages and getting you paid more. So you have to know that, because that is going to impact some of the decisions you make with the book and how you want to distribute it and how you want to sell it. But I think a lot of it comes back to mindset, because a lot of people will think, well, my book's not selling. And yet here they are, busier than they've ever been, because their book is putting them on stages and filling their courses, but they're not selling a ton of books. So it feels like a failure. So I think mindset from the beginning really sets you up for success.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Are there any, and this is what we're going to be coming on to in just a second, but are there any new tips that you're finding are coming out, and new tactics for getting those books launched that you're going to be talking about in the future of publishing?
Actually, just interestingly, we've just been digging into, so it's not really, this is half baked. So, but it's also kind of breaking news. We had 4 launches in the last couple weeks that it looked like the launch was dead. So on Amazon, it looked like nothing had happened, and we were kind of not panicking behind the scenes, but we're going like, what glitch is this? Like, why are we not seeing anything happening? Like there was no bestseller flags. The rankings weren't moving. And now, as we've dug into the Amazon terms of service or whatever they have, it looks like they've changed how their books rank. So it used to be hourly, and on their page now, it's being updated daily, and it might take 1 to 3 days for it to show, which is what we saw in these launches. The bestseller flags came in the week after launch, but on launch day, it was like dead. So, And I bring this up to answer your question, because I think a lot of people have been trained for this hourly update, for that bestseller flag to pick a week category and sell 100 books and crush the category. Well, Amazon's changing how the game is getting played. So I think some people who have been playing the game to appease to Amazon to get those bestseller flags, I think their strategies are going to change a little bit. What we've always done is go for the steady state, because Amazon's always rewarded that. And I think that this change just further goes to the fact that a 1-day hit is not going to work with Amazon, right? We really want to have steady conversions with Amazon so they show you and recommend you. And so I think that that's going to be a continued thing. But yeah, just as a side note, we've been digging through this and trying to figure this out, because it's been baffling us. And I think that strategies are going to need to adjust a little.
So this is for people who are trying to just get that bestseller badge. I'm guessing more for like vanity reasons rather than like for any financial reasons. Because if you're playing the list like that.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people do. Like it's one of the big things is that they feel like it's just like one of those check marks they have to put on a box is I've been an Amazon bestseller, right? They just
Yep.
feel like they have to check it. So a lot of people have played games with the Amazon bestseller. We've never done it, but we've also almost with setting our clients up the way we do, they almost always see one of those flags. And like I said, it was kind of a panic on our side because we had 4 launches and none of them had it on launch day. And we're like, what is going on? Like, are we messing up? Like, anyways, so I only bring that up because I think a lot of people focus on Amazon with their launches, and it's been a metric that everybody kind of used as a win, and it's still there, but it's just changing how you're going to get there. And I think the tried and true, like just consistently get your book out there into readers' hands versus focusing on a single day and pushing for a single day. I think that that's the shift we're already seeing.
Right. Okay. It's interesting that this stuff changes so often. I was on a talk with Dale Roberts just recently, and we had to postpone it because we were talking about Amazon ads. And like in the time from when we organized it to when we went live, Amazon just stopped doing lock screen ads. So we were like, okay, we need to completely change what we're going to talk about in our talk. So it's good that you're keeping on top of it because someone needs to.
And it's funny because the same thing happens to me is I'll shoot my videos for the month and then something will come out, and it almost always happens the day I've already released the video, and then the news comes out and I'm like, okay, come on.
Yeah.
But things do change really fast.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm guessing that's one of the main reasons why you started this conference or the summit, sorry, because this stuff is changing and we want to see what's going to be happening in the future. So why don't you give me a bit of an overview of what's happening in that summit?
Yeah, for sure. So this is the first time we've ever done a summit, and we really,
Nice.
2 reasons why we decided to do it. One is it's a celebration for us. We are launching the author launch kit, which is book marketing software. And so you fill out a survey, and then after that, a couple clicks of a button and everything's customized to you, your goals, your book, your audience, your podcast list, all of the things that I think most nonfiction authors should do for their book marketing is inside of this software. So this launch or the summit is a celebration of the launch of this software, which is a 1.5 years in the making. But also there's so many things to talk about that I think the future is different in book marketing. Some of the things are going to be tried and true, right? You're always going to want to know who your reader is and how, what they're looking for and why they would pick up your book. That's fundamental. But how you're connecting with them is changing. ChatGPT, the LLM models, that's changing search and how you're getting recommended. People are not necessarily going to Amazon or Google to find your book anymore. This is a big, big change. And so what does that mean for your book marketing in the future? So that's and then also content marketing has never been easier, but it can be really overwhelming, kind of understanding which tools to use and then what to do with it. So some of those things are why we thought, it's time to talk about not just book marketing, but what book marketing needs to be as we move into this new normal, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely. I noticed that nearly 10% of the traffic that goes to my website where the podcast is coming from ChatGPT, as in,
Yep.
Whereas previously I'd see it would come directly from Google. Now I can see in Google Analytics that it's coming directly from ChatGPT, which is really interesting. And it's not something I've even focused on. It just happens sort of by accident. I'm guessing people are searching things like which book podcasts need the most improvement or something like that.
So that's funny. I don't think that's the case. So there's 2 things I can offer to this. And then, of course, join us at the summit for more discussion on this. But one of our clients, Ben Weiner, he had just launched a book called Fever Pitch. And somebody sent us this screenshot and they were searching for a new book in startups. They're like, I'm looking for a new read in startups, and ChatGPT recommended his book. And then, of course, you can see in there, you can click on the links, like why it says that. And when you click on the link, it takes you to the Amazon top releases page, right?
Wow.
So it's interesting. And then another one underneath that was recommended was because Tech Week, or I can't remember, one of those magazines had written an article on it. So the good and the bad news is there's not one way your book is going to be discovered going forward, but that can be good and bad. So that's...
Yeah, definitely.
And so that's exciting and also a little daunting to have everything changing.
Yeah, I wonder how long it is before you'll be able to just launch a book directly to ChatGPT or stuff like that. It's if people are searching for Well, I mean, if I think about how I shop for fiction books, I really like history fiction, like history thrillers. And because of the books I like, they're quite long. And so the authors only write like one a year. So I run out of them really quickly. So whenever I'm finding a new book, I'm like, what's a good Roman history thriller or something like that? You know, if I type that into ChatGPT, it'll give me loads that will come up. I wonder how long that is going to be before it's going to be launching directly to ChatGPT rather than just going through Amazon.
Yeah, I could see there being a store option very quickly through there, but I don't know. Things are evolving, and Amazon's trying to make their AI recommendations better and better as well. They have a
Yeah,
long way to go, in my opinion,
like
but
Rufus.
it is, yeah, yeah. Rufus, Rufus is
Rufus,
not so smart.
no, not yet. Anyway, I hope Jeff, if you're listening to this, let me know. I can help you fix it. But so at the summit, you've got quite a few people talking, like some really amazing guests actually that you were telling me about before. So tell me about some of the talks you're really particularly looking forward to listening to.
Yeah, we have a lot. We have so much good stuff. And I'm really excited. A couple of people from my team are going to be talking too. And
Nice.
I think it's really cool to hear from people like that because they're in the trenches, right? They work with our authors every single day. They see hundreds of different Amazon accounts and hundreds of different pitches going out. So they can give some really, really great feedback and support to authors. But we also have Mark Leslie Lefebvre from Draft to Digital coming in to
Yep.
talk about all the things, bookstores, outreach, libraries, community building. We've got Alex Sanfilippo, who does a lot of podcasts. He's got a podcast kind of booking, a matchmaking company, I call it.
Odd match.
So yeah, exactly. Pod Match. But it's like a match for anybody who's not familiar. It matches hosts with podcast guests. And then we have Dale Roberts, of course, who you and I know, who will be coming in to talk about all the things book marketing. And he's just coming off of launching YouTube for Authors, a brand new book. And he's got a whole giant series of nonfiction books before I think he retires from nonfiction for a while and focuses on fiction. And then we also have, I'm missing a couple. Oh, Nick Hutchison, who is the founder of Book Thinkers. They create video and social media content, and they have a really popular Instagram account. He worked with us on his book. So he kind of comes at this from a whole bunch of different angles. He'll talk about what's working in social media. He'll talk about what's working to get reviews. And he also just signed with his book 2 international rights deals. So he's going to have a lot of really cool stuff to talk about too. So yeah, it's gonna be great. We have author panels. I'm doing a couple of talks on specifically the future and what I see happening.
You've got some amazing speakers who are talking on the day. So which talks are you most looking forward to hearing from?
It's hard to pick one. I mean, I'm really excited because 2 people from my team are going to be doing some talks and hosting hot seats. And I think it's really cool when you get to hear from the people who are in the trenches, working with hundreds of authors all the time, seeing hundreds of pitches. We also have, Alex Sanfilippo from Podmatch coming in to talk, and he's like a podcast matchmaker. So he'll talk about what's working in podcast pitching, which is a key part of authors and their launch. Mark Leslie Lefebvre from Draft to Digital is going to talk about bookstores and libraries and so many other amazing things. Dale Roberts just launched, I don't even know, like his 35th book or something on YouTube for authors. So he's going to come in and talk about all things book marketing and book launching. And yeah, there's so many great talks. I'm excited too, because we have author panels, and one of our clients who got 2 international rights deals, as well as runs a kind of social media and video marketing company for authors, he's going to be there too. So it's going to be packed full of great content and stuff that you don't always hear, right? That's one thing we want to try and keep it fresh and new for people who are always listening to podcasts and watching videos. And I think there'll be some great stuff there that they haven't heard yet.
Nice. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of new information because, yeah, as you mentioned, so a lot of these podcasts, they have the same guests on and everyone keeps repeating all the same things, which I try to not do, but we'll let the listeners decide. So the summit is 19th to 21st, which is actually next week as we're recording this. So hopefully this will be going out live tomorrow. But so tell us a bit about what the viewers, can expect from the day.
Yeah, you bet. So it's 4 hours each day. If you can't make it, replays will be available through the weekend. So if it doesn't quite work with your schedule, you'll be able to catch the content. But if you can come live, we have prizes galore. We're giving away a 1-year license and a lifetime license to our software. We have awesome swag with our cool author launch kit logo on it, and some other surprises. So if you can be there live, do. But the replays will be available. So it's 4 hours every day, each day, and it's from 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm in Vegas, and people are all over the country, but I focus on my time zone because then I at least know I'm at the right time. And it's going to be straight through. There's a couple of 10-minute breaks, but bring your notebook, have lots of coffee and water on hand, and it's going to be a lot of fun, information, and entertainment.
Yeah. And you mentioned you're launching your new software off the back of this. I know that you're keeping a lot of it a surprise to be revealed during the summit, but could you give us a bit of a taste about what people can expect from that?
Yeah, you bet. It's called Author Launch Kit, and it really is, it's all themed around space, book launchers. Yep. So we kind of stuck with that. We have social media supernova. So when you click on that, after you've filled out the survey, it'll give you a social media calendar. It'll give you suggested ideas for a post. For posts, it gives you press release content, speaker one sheet content. It will also, if you've done a good job of filling out the survey, it will even suggest influencers, and it will give you links to their contact. It will give you links to their website, or if it's podcasts, it will tell you, here's the pitch angle that we think would be a good fit for this podcast with the submission form and all of that. So it is a lot of tactical stuff that'll basically take you 60% of the way that you need to go. And then the 40% is you actually refining it for you and executing it out there into the world. But I'm excited because it takes a lot of, so it's funny because somebody said to me, well, this is what you guys do as a company. And I'm like, yeah, well, if somebody's going to put my full service out of business, it might as well be me. So
you're retiring yourself.
Exactly. I'm like, that's fine. And some people will still want execution, right? Some people are still going to want somebody else to do this for them. But for everybody else that wants to kind of DIY it, but have guidance and support and some of the research done for them, this tool does that. So I'm super excited to have something else to help authors with.
Yeah, I saw a demo of it when you showed me last week. So I'm excited to have a play of it when it comes out, because I know that a lot of the nonfiction writers that I work with, that launch part is complicated. So obviously I speak to them a lot about ads and how they can use Amazon ads, and that is a really good tactic sometimes. But the main question they often have is, what are the other things we can do? So having that tool that can sort it all out for you, basically, that's going to be really, really valuable, I think. Is that going to be aimed mostly at nonfiction authors?
Right now it's only nonfiction. Yep. And our phase 2 that we're already there was pieces that didn't quite work, and we kind of hit the point where we just have to launch this. So phase 2 is going to be nonfiction, but I'm already getting heat from the fiction world that they need something like this for them too. So perhaps 2026, that will be our project.
Yeah, nice. That sounds great. And the summit itself, I know with the guests, they're not just nonfiction like you are. They're kind of a bit of a mixture. So would fiction people, would they get a lot out of that as well?
I mean, I'm not a fiction author, so I can never really speak to it. But I actually just this morning, somebody posted on my YouTube channel about the summit that, hey, listen, I'm a longtime fiction author. I've been listening to your channel. I'm going to be at the summit because even though your focus is nonfiction, 70% of what you talk about still applies to fiction. So from that commenter's point of view, yes, there's massive value for fiction, but we are gearing everything specifically towards nonfiction. But, savvy fiction authors are able to take the advice and apply it.
Yeah, perfect. And how much is the cost of the summit?
Free. It's free.
Oh, even better.
Yeah. So you can come for free, no problem. And then of course there'll be an invitation to buy our software. That's I said, it's a celebration party. So the invitation to join our community, that is a paid group that supports the software, and the software will be there. But yeah, come to the summit for free and celebrate with us.
Brilliant. Well, I'm looking forward to coming. I'm gonna post it in my newsletter tomorrow, so we'll be able to get everyone's come to look at it.
Yeah, I can't wait. Thank you so much for your support.
No problem. Yeah. Well, it's been great chatting to you, Julie. We'll have to get you back on soon to go through the full book launch process, especially when the software is launched, because you're the expert on this. But everyone wants to hear what you've got to say. So yeah, we'll have to get you back on to go through that full launch process when the software is launched. But it's been great having you on. Thank you so much, and good luck with the summit.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for tuning into the Publishing Performance podcast. I really hope you found today's episode inspiring. I love chatting to authors, writers, and people in the publishing world. Now, just before we wrap up, let me tell you about Publishing Performance, the #1 platform for authors who want to increase Amazon book sales, but are not really sure where to start. Now, this show is all about helping you to sell more books. And if you're looking to boost your publishing game and to maximize your book's potential on Amazon, then Publishing Performance is designed to help authors just like you to grow your readership and to reach a much wider audience. Now, I know that Amazon ads can be slightly complicated, which is why Publishing Performance is like having a personalized ad account manager to create your ad campaigns, to choose your best keywords, and to make adjustments in real time. Now, if you're investing in ads, you really want to make sure that your investment is being used effectively, and Publishing Performance does just that. It aims to make your budget go further, improve your organic rank, and target keywords more effectively. Just go to publishingperformance.com to get started with Amazon ads for just $1. Thank you so much for tuning into the Publishing Performance podcast. I really hope you found today's episode inspiring. I love chatting to authors, writers, and people in the publishing world. Now, just before we wrap up, let me tell you about Publishing Performance, the #1 platform for authors who want to increase Amazon book sales, but are not really sure where to start. Now, this show is all about helping you to sell more books. And if you're looking to boost your publishing game and to maximize your book's potential on Amazon, then Publishing Performance is designed to help authors just like you to grow your readership and to reach a much wider audience. Now, I know that Amazon ads can be slightly complicated, which is why Publishing Performance is like having a personalized ad account manager to create your ad campaigns, to choose your best keywords, and to make adjustments in real time. Now, if you're investing in ads, you really want to make sure that your investment is being used effectively, and Publishing Performance does just that. It aims to make your budget go further, improve your organic rank, and target keywords more effectively. Just go to publishingperformance.com to get started with Amazon ads for just $1.